I made this video because I know there are a lot of people out there that want to try their hand at doing their own ceramic coating, but are just frankly intimidated by it. There's certainly a time and a place for professionals to do this work. There's many of them that do a great job, and if this isn't really your thing, you don't like being hands-on, go ahead and have one of them do it. There's no harm in that. But to the extent you want to save some money, learn a little bit more about how to take care of the detailing aspect of your car, doing your own ceramic coating is very doable. I had a unique opportunity to team up with the experts at Gtechniq to do a tutorial on exactly how to do it yourself in your own garage, step by step. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope you get some value out of it if you've ever considered doing this.
Okay, so time to coat. We've got special guest from Gtechniq today. Illy's over. He's going to talk us through proper technique on coating. The intent here is that I know a lot of people out there are very hesitant to coat their own car. There is a process that can certainly help you do that, and we're going to talk about the way to do that today. That doesn't mean that if you don't like to DIY, you don't have a lot of time, you shouldn't go hire a professional detailer. There are certainly reasons to do that. They're out there in the world for a reason, but I do get a lot of questions on the channel about, hey, what if I want to do compounding or polishing or any of those things at my house by myself? And this is kind of a tutorial a little bit on at least exposing you to the process, so then you can decide if you want to invest the time and do it yourself and have that experience, or at least if you go out and get it done professionally, you've got a much better sense of what you're paying for, because you are paying for something. It's a lot of hours involved in this process. So again, we're gonna really walk us through the process. Super appreciative of the Gtechniq team for coming out here today. We're also gonna do some wheel coating after we do my 911. So we've got Alex's 964 over, gonna talk about C5 wheel armor and how to put that on as well. So by the end of this, hopefully you have a sense of how to do wheels and the body panels to ceramic coat and protect your car. This can last anywhere from a year to maybe more, depending on how you treat the paint. Proper wash technique, got other videos on that cover that if you want to talk about it, but let's get started.
All right, so Illy, what's the first thing we need to do to the car to get it ready?
All right, guys, so panel wipe. We call it the truth serum at Gtechniq. What it is a bunch of solvents put together. It's like isopropyl on steroids. Gotta wipe the entire car down. I recommend doing it twice. Obviously, if you don't have a lot of time, that's one thing, but prep is always key just with anything. So go ahead, spray panel wipe onto the microfiber only. Do not spray onto the paint itself. Very important. You don't need to add too much product onto your microfiber. You just need a little bit. So generally I'll do about 3 spritz. So 1, 2, 3, and go ahead and wipe the panel down. If you don't add a lot of product, then it's not gonna streak and it should evaporate right behind your microfiber. However, if you add too much product, then it will streak and you will have to flip the microfiber, buff it off really fast, and continue on. Generally, after your initial application of panel wipe to your microfiber, after that, you'll do either 1 or 2 spritz per panel. So for this hood, I would generally divide that into 2. So I'll go 1, 2, and go ahead and apply.
So for those out there, Illy, panel wipe, completely safe for the paint, won't take off any compound polish results, but does take out some of the residue or after effects, right?
Yeah, so the whole point of this is to mitigate any leftover polish or compound or really anything on the paint itself for a proper bonding. Some polishes will have some, as we call, fillers in them. So it will minimize the look of a scratch. However, it's not going to necessarily take it fully out. And so that's sort of what we're removing with panel wipe.
So how long have you been with Gtechniq, Illy?
Professionally for a little over 3 years, and then got the opportunity to work for corporate and took it.
Smart. Well, you guys have freaking blown up, that's for sure.
Definitely trying.
In
We're
the
growing.
detail space, I mean.
Well, all in all, growth is good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that comes with success, right? I mean, the company has become really the go-to, especially in the coating business, which is not easy, given how much competition. And honestly, sort of tenure there is, a lot of companies in that space, but it just feels like a lot of them got pretty comfortable in their sort of realm in the coating business and didn't really innovate much. And I mean, I think frankly what you guys are doing with this kind of thing, which is consumer engagement, out beyond just the professional detailer space,
Yeah.
is really important.
It's fantastic to get to work on stuff like this and to talk with people like yourselves who are interested in it as well, and more on a hobby level than just, oh, that's a pretty car.
So quick side question, I never ceramic coated my 993.
Okay.
And I guess I always had it in my head that on older paint, I don't know, it just was riskier or something. Is that just a total myth, or what's the difference between like doing a 2014 and 1997 when it comes to ceramics?
I mean, really, it's clear coat. So a lot of the older cars, like single stage paint, where the clear is somewhat built into the actual color, the pigment, you've got to be a little bit more careful as far as prep. So like polishing and stuff like that, color will be coming off. That's
right.
just how it is. But generally with a two-stage paint like this, with an actual UV resistant clear on top, the only thing you got to worry about is, again, the prep.
Right.
The actual ceramic process is totally fine. We actually have specific ceramic coatings for lacquer finish paint or single stage.
Okay. So you're telling me I could have saved all my time on washing my 993?
You could have, for sure.
Right.
All right, guys. Matt Mormon, thank you. Special edition Crystal Serum Light.
Didn't win Civic, so I don't know about thank you, but trying to honor the source there,
There you go.
in his words.
Crystal Serum Light, 5-year coating, super simple to apply. It really doesn't take too much effort. There's a few things that you're gonna be visually looking for when you're applying or coating. What I like to do, it's 3 steps. We're gonna do a river. So we're going to apply all of our product down in a straight line. Then we're gonna box out the panel that we're doing, and then we're gonna fill in everything. And the reason for the river is so, if I start coating on the left side of the fender, by the time I get to the right side, I'm gonna have less product. So the river is so we can spread out all the product. Also, make sure you shake the bottles. Every single product that you get, I just suggest just shaking it. And also look in the bottle. If there's anything, little crystal pieces floating in the liquid, I'd suggest not using it.
Call it Gtechniq.
Exactly. Does it happen? Rarely. All right.
And so this combo, CSL, XO, pretty popular, I would assume. I know you guys have several products, but it seems like a lot of people go with this combination.
As far as our consumer level product, it's easily the best. The reason being, it's easy to apply. It's not gonna flash or start curing super fast,
right?
Which is somewhat the scary thing about ceramic.
Sure.
Obviously that leads to high spotting and stuff like that. We'll get into that later. But yeah, I mean, it's user friendly and it truly does last 5 years. It's a great combo for sure.
Perfect, yeah, and that's what I've heard. It's just for consumer product, it's forgiving, right? Definitely doesn't require quite the pro touch if you haven't done it before. So
we do have a professional line of coating called Crystal Serum Ultra.
Right.
The difference is how aggressive it is or how fast it's curing. For instance, if we were using Ultra right now, we might be doing this section versus the entire fender at once.
Okay, got it. Cool.
Really fast, it's super important before we go ahead and apply this, microfibers. You obviously need microfibers. Doesn't necessarily matter what type of microfiber, but as long as you have multiple. So what I like to do is have 3, and your first one is gonna remain towel 1, your second one is gonna remain towel 2, and your third one is gonna remain towel 3. And so what I mean by that is on every single panel of this vehicle, we're gonna use these same microfibers in that order.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, so when I did this on my last car, I used 1 and then would recycle that out, like basically per panel.
Yeah.
Which I bet a lot of people do. So
100%.
You're saying 3 towel technique over the whole car is a better way to go.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And the reason for that is we're trying to minimize high spotting. So what high spotting is ceramic starts to bond on top of one another if you don't wipe it off, and it creates this cloudiness. And really the only way to get it off once it's fully cured like that would be to wet sand or use an orbital or something like that, like a wool pad. If you can get it fast enough, then that's the whole point of the 3-towel method. You have multiple clean towels to get the job done.
Okay, cool.
So generally we'll switch out that towel one maybe like halfway through because of how much
that's going to pick up most of it.
Exactly.
And again, for the amateurs, just real quick, you don't want to reuse any of these towels down the road to do any kind of like spray your car for the car show, whatever, because they all basically have glass in them going forward.
Exactly. I hate wasting supplies.
This is one time you should definitely do it.
If you, for sure, or save
use them
them
around the house, like maybe for like gross house tasks. Like nothing you're ever gonna put in your mouth, but
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Cleaning out, like I don't know, something
even
really
under the
nasty.
vehicle. If you're cleaning your exhaust tip, something like that, great.
But nothing you ever want to scratch or to put your mouth around or whatever.
Exactly. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and apply. So to start off, I like to add a liberal amount of product onto the sponge. So generally I'll go like 1, 2, 3, 4 times onto the applicator pad and then apply. Every other panel after that, I'm pretty much doing one stream.
So sort of prepping the pad just to get some saturation. Okay.
So go ahead and apply 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're gonna go ahead and lay our river down. We're gonna box in the panel. I'm not worried about it getting on the light or anything. If anything, coat the lights. So we'll go ahead and coat them. And we're just gonna make sure that we overlap all.
This is a perfect thing to do if you were one of those kids that grew up that really liked coloring like within the lines.
Oh yeah.
There's something very therapeutic about coating by panel, in my opinion.
Yes, for sure. So now what we're gonna look for, we were talking about visual cues to tell once it's bonding. The applicator leaves these lines. It's sort of, fluid lines. Those lines are going to spread and then little tiny dots are going to appear. That is telling you that it has bonded and that you can start taking it off. So I would like to find that all throughout the panel. It's actually starting to. I know it's hard to see for the viewers.
And it's almost like the lines start to become like Morse code almost.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
I'm also one of those weird people who thinks that ceramic coating smells amazing. It kind of smells like, I don't know, pine sol or something.
It's a clean smell, we'll put it like that.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, oof.
And then so finally, once I see the dots and everything has spread it, I'm gonna go ahead and start using towel 1. Towel 1, you're just getting the majority of the material. I'm not trying to get everything, I'm just trying to touch everything. Very simple. And so also I wanted to say like that it was fairly fast. And the reason for it is because we're in Atlanta, Georgia. It's already
high humidity,
hot and humid.
So that process is happening faster.
Exactly. We're gonna go ahead and use towel 2. Towel 2, I'm gonna go even farther onto all the adjacent panels. So what happens is the product will spread and you wanna make sure that you get all of it. So just go ahead, we're doing the fender. I went ahead and touched the hood. I'm going to go ahead and touch this door now. And then all of the product is for the most part gone. Towel 3 is just gonna be an just in case towel. So go ahead and go even farther onto the hood. I'm going maybe 5 inches onto all adjacent panels. Make sure there's no excess product. Especially on the lower parts where it might be harder to see. And that is that. And then final step, we're gonna go ahead and take our light and just check and make sure that I don't see any high spots. Everything's looking good. And that's all she wrote, folks. It's that easy. And now, just the best part of it is feeling the difference. So what I want you to do is use this microfiber and go onto the hood and feel the difference.
Ooh, yeah, tons of resistance, and this is just freaking buttery smooth. That's my friend Sean over at 11 would like me to say, but yeah, that is what you're going for.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
And again,
Which is crazy because I mean this is compounded, it's polished, like it's. I mean this is not like rough by any means. It's not like we've been driving on this for 2 years without doing some of the paintwork, but yeah, just total night and day.
And so it's gonna start curing now. We just laid it for the next 6 to 12 hours. It's just gonna get shinier and harder. For an entire week, I suggest not washing it. Take care of it. Obviously, if it gets really dirty, wash it.
Right.
But try not to and let it get to its full hardness level before you apply a mitt or anything.
Which goes back to kind of that, hey, is it going to last 5 years or going to last, 4, 3, all, that's part of the process as well, right? Which is the cure time.
Yep. And again, I feel like there's a misconception. I feel ceramic is this all-powerful liquid that's going to, you always see the videos of people, spraying it with fire and, hitting it with a knife or something. That's fake. Yeah. It's not ceramic coat. The whole point of this is to add hardness to the clear coat. Is it going to scratch? 100%.
Right.
But is it going to be harder to scratch? Absolutely.
Yeah, no, definitely important note. So I mean, proper wash technique, 2 bucket, all those other things still apply. Otherwise, you're going to put scratches right into your ceramic, just like you would your clear or your wax or polish or whatever you got on it. So.
But yeah, I mean, it's that easy. Fill in your panel. Make sure you're overlapping on every pass. Make sure you get every single square inch of that panel. Let it cure. Don't just wipe it off immediately. There's no need to do that. You're just wasting product at that point. And then use your 3 towels and move on to the next panel. It's that simple.
All right, so ceramic's done. What's next? How long does it need to sit? What do we put on top of it after that?
So ceramic is done. It's going to be curing for the next 6 to 12 hours. Based on humidity levels, the more humid it is, the faster it's going to cure. Generally though, just wait the 6 to 12 hours. There's no need to rush anything. But we do have a topper called EXO. What EXO is, so crystal serum white, it's adding the hardness to the clear. So now what we're going to do is add the hydrophobicness. So EXO goes on just like crystal serum white. We just have to wait that 6 to 12 hours, and then it's very straightforward. But once this is applied, you wait another 6 to 12 hours for it to fully cure, and then it can get wet. But this is what's really going to add the hydrophobic effect to your clear coat and also give it an extra amount of shine to it as well.
So what really creates what everybody loves is videos. I can go run my hose over it and watch all this water sheet off and say, oh, great, I have a coating.
Exactly.
All right, perfect.
That doesn't necessarily mean that crystal serum white is not hydrophobic. It is, but it's not going to be as hydrophobic as the EXO.
Got it. Yep. All right, so EXO tomorrow, but we are going to do wheels. So we're going to switch to C5, yep?
Yep, let's do it. All right, guys, so wheel armor. We got these beautiful BBSs. When'd you get them?
Just got them like a week ago, and just got them mounted yesterday. And so trying to get them coated so that's easy to clean this mesh style, because that can be a little pain in the butt if you're trying to clean your car and get some brake dust. So yeah, gonna get them ceramic coated.
Awesome. So just like any ceramic coat, guys, we want to panel white. We want to prep the surface first. So we're gonna go ahead and use panel white from Gtechniq with the clean microfiber. These are for the most part already clean. I would definitely, do the proper washing steps, 2-bucket method, get in all the crevices. We want to get as much brake dust off as possible. The cleaner the surface, the better the bond. But anyway, again, no need to apply a lot of panel wipe to your microfiber. And again, we're only applying it to the microfiber and not to the wheel face itself. But this is just gonna prep it, make sure we get any oils, brake dust, polish, whatever is left on the surface off.
Already demonstrating what what it's going to be like to have these wheels without ceramic coat, what you're going to have to do to clean up.
Exactly. Yeah, guys, just make sure you are getting in every single crevice. Wherever you don't clean with panel wipe, it is definitely not going to last as long. And if you're going to put this much effort into something, might as well do it correctly.
And you'll do the same inside the barrels and stuff like that as well.
Exactly. Yeah. When we're cleaning the wheel, go ahead and clean the entire wheel.
Yeah.
We're cleaning the wheel. We're not going to be coating the faces and the barrel at the same time.
Right.
We'll split it up. All right, guys. So prepped it. Panel wipe the face. Wipe the inside of the wheel. Gonna go ahead and apply the coating. Just like all of our coatings, comes in a glass vial, and it also comes with applicator pads. They're just cotton pads. They're nothing crazy, nothing like what we use for the paint. Go ahead and grab one and apply product. Generally, I'll apply to only half of the applicator pad, and I'll do maybe 2 or 3 passes with the product. 1, 2, 3. And go ahead and apply. With this particular coating, you do not need to necessarily work super fast. It's not going to cure too fast to the point where you can't do the entire face of a wheel. But go ahead, just take your time. Make sure you're covering all of the surface of the wheel. And on any like matte finished wheels, anything like that, the ceramic will really bring out the color. It'll almost look like a deeper version of what you have. I personally love it. I don't know anyone who doesn't love it.
No, it's amazing how simple it is. Like, you don't actually think of it being, you know, you're kind of like, you just really just like put it, wipe it. And like Eli's already doing what my second question was, like, when do you need to touch up?
Yeah, I mean, like, so you'll see it going onto the surface of the wheel, and so you only want to reapply more product when it sort of starts to diminish. You don't see as much product, just like anything. I mean, just be mindful, you have this bottle for 4 wheels, you want to make sure you have enough product left over. The barrels, you know, they use a decent amount of product, so just, you know, keep that in mind. And, you know, however wide your wheel is, that'll make a big difference as well. All right, guys, so it's been about 3 minutes or so. I got 2 microfibers here. So on the car, we use 3. On wheels, we're gonna use 2. And the second one is just for backup, just in case. But for the most part, all the product will come off on this microfiber. So let's go ahead, start wiping it off. And Andrew, as I'm wiping this, I know a little bit earlier we were talking about, oh, why don't you use CSL on the wheels? You can most definitely use CSL on the wheels. The reason why Gtechniq came out with wheel armor, a specific coating for wheels, is because of how hot all of the components, the brake components, your wheels, they'll definitely heat up while you're on the road, and a lot of ceramic can't withstand the temperatures that we're talking about. So I think the average temperature for a caliper, like say on track, is around 600 degrees or so. A lot of ceramic coat will start failing around those temperatures. Wheel armor will not.
Interesting.
So that's definitely the reason why I would use wheel armor over CSL or something like that. The face is done. It's that simple. We go ahead and do the back, the inside of the barrel, and we'll call it a day. Generally, if they get dirty, that's when I'll get a new one, or sometimes they'll start drying and get a little crusty, then you get a new one. But yeah.
I hope you guys found that video helpful. First of all, huge thanks and shout out to the guys over at Gtechniq for spending the day here with me, walking us through the process, doing the tutorial, investing that time in the user community. I do think that's a big thing that sets Gtechniq apart from the rest of the companies out there doing coding, so really appreciate that. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found it helpful. If you've ever been thinking about doing your own coding and just been intimidated by this, didn't even know where to start, hopefully the video showed you this is really not that hard. If you just follow these steps, you can get it done, and you can frankly save a lot of money by doing it yourself. I know that's not for everybody. That's why there's a detailing community out there, professionals who can do this for you. I have tons of respect for those people, but if you like doing your own stuff, if you like saving some money, hopefully this video allows you to do that. This channel's full of this kind of advice, drive videos, things about car culture, Porsches, Land Rovers, multiple brands, you name it. So if you're new to the channel, please hit subscribe. That way you can stay up to date when I put new updates out. If you are a longtime subscriber, thank you for following the channel and helping me build the community here that I have been. Stay tuned for the next one. We've got all kinds of new stuff coming up, but really appreciate you joining for this one, and see you then.